Hello, folks. Welcome to the live stream. This is impromptu, just for members only, but I'm going to make it public. So if you stumble across the stream, you came in per chance. I'll be with you shortly. Just going to get the link to send to my. All right. Testing. All right, I'm on the MacBook microphone. I do apologize, everyone, for the sound quality, but my the headset seems to have failed me, so I can remove them. All right. There we go. Can you hear me now? Joy Deep, everyone, Martin, can you hear me properly? It might be a bit echoey. I do ask for forgiveness for that, but nothing I can do. Can you hear me now? Okay, fantastic. Sorry about the slight echo, folks, but I've had to switch mics. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Maybe I just need to reset this, possibly. Let's see if we can change microphones here. The vagaries of live streaming. Testing MacBook microphone. Testing MacBook microphone. That seems to work. Let's try the headphone microphone. This is testing headphone. Ah, it's working. There we go. Voila. Thank you very much. Now it's working beautifully. Okay. All right, folks, let's have a look at the charts. So this is not a real live stream. This is just impromptu, and I just decided to quickly do it as I just finished the live stream over at Ola, and there were a couple of questions, and I wanted to just allay some fears on natural gas. So a lot of people are asking about natural gas. Let's talk about it and maybe focus on that in this session. And whilst I've got that chart up, let me just check that everything is okay. I cannot turn on subtitles, unfortunately, Michael. Sorry, not possible. Not on live streams. All right, folks. So let's have a look at the natural gas chart. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Hang on 1 second, folks. I'll be right back. Be with you in 1 minute. I have an urgent attendant issue. I'll be right with you. All right, I'm back. All right, fantastic. Thank you for being here, folks. I really appreciate it. And this is really just for members, but I'm making it live because I couldn't segment it in time and I wanted to do it quickly. This is natural gas. And we have moved down. Now, it's a very clear picture. I put this up on X, and if you followed me in my live stream yesterday, you'll know what we're talking about. Big descending, falling wedge, really. Breakout, as it should have done. And then another rising wedge, excuse me, which we broke out down through the bottom, as we should have done. After forming this double top at the 200 period moving average on the 4-hour chart, beautiful tweezer top, double top. If you look at that on the day chart, it's actually a daily tweezer top. Let's go have a look. A tweezer top is a very powerful reversal pattern, and this is the ideal and perfect tweezer top. Identical wick lengths, identical body sizes, one bearish, one bullish. That could be bullish followed by bearish, it doesn't really matter. And I'm just getting some phone calls coming in. So there you go. Beautiful tweezer top reversal at that 50 period moving average on the day chart. And we've also got the 200 down below us. Now, going back to the 4-hour chart, you can see pretty similar sort of thing. So there's the rejection, tweezer top on the day chart. It's a double top on the 4-hour at that right at the sort of apex of this rising wedge and the 200 period moving average. We did close above it, and I guess you could say fractionally above it, but I just pretended that was just below it. So that's okay. We can take those little allowances sometimes. So we have not closed above the 200 period moving average in my reckoning. Not much anyway, by a fraction maybe. And then we've moved down. Gap down over the weekend, nice big gap. And of course, following that pattern, it was always likely we were going to gap down. There was also an improvement in the weather situation, which led to just a drop in the price. So warmer weather and so on, and the price is moving down. Did a little bit of a scare earlier on today, trying to get back into the gap, but all we managed to do is to get back to the underside of this much longer, larger bearish flag. Now, we've got a big problem for the bulls here because we have what looks like a long-term head and shoulders pattern, and we've got this bear flag. There's the move down, very broad, large bear flag, and then the breakdown after sort of bouncing back into it, scarily, of course, over the weekend, and then gapping down back below the bear flag. We're now below the bear flag. If I go to the daily chart, you can see it more easily. Excuse any dogs barking and so on. My son's getting married in China at 3 o'clock in the morning my time, which is in a few hours. It's now 5 o'clock. So actually in 10 hours time, my son's getting married in China, and he's going to be streaming it live on YouTube. So we're getting ready for that. My daughter's come around, going to have a bit of a party, a watch party, pajama party, watching my son getting married in China, near the Himalayas. So that's going to be quite fun. But I don't know how I got into that. Oh, the dog was barking. So this is the way the day chart looks on natural gas. And as you can see, pretty negative, really. Down below that bear flag, down below the head and shoulders. We've got the $3 level still down here that we've got to get through. And my suspicion is that we'll get down to $3. I think it's too attractive and it's too tempting for the price to not try that, at least, and get down there sometime in the next number of days. In order to do that, we've got to get through this little order block. We're holding down below the 200. That's the line, 3 o'clock. $3. $3 at 3 o'clock. So there's the $3 line. And what happens next at the $3 level, if we get there, which I think we will, what happens next is crucial. Because if we break and close below $3, we'll have completed a breakdown through the neckline of this head and shoulders, which sets the target for natural gas below $2.50. If we bounce off here, off the $3 level, bear in mind that the target for this flag, bear flag, move down, bear flag, target move down, we've got it drawn in here with this red line. If I can just grab it from the top of the flagpole there, or the top of the bear flag, and I've just drawn it there, and the target using the bear flag is at $2.60. The target using this head and shoulders pattern is at about $2.30. So there are two things that saying we should aim towards 230 or 250. Many people are bullish. I'm somewhat bullish on natural gas, but the $3 level I think will be the decider. So if we bounce off here, I think we've got a good chance of going back to $4 and maybe even higher. And if we fail and close and hold beneath that line, and we might even get a false break down below, probably, most likely, a test below $3, maybe a close beneath $3, and if we do get that, we should move down further into 2.5 or 2.3 to 2.2. If we bounce off there, of $3 or just slightly below, maybe a bit of a clean out just below the bottom, just to scrape out those retail traders from underneath their stop losses, and then a rally back up to $4 and maybe higher, maybe 4.50, maybe $5. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking on natural gas, folks. And I'd really just wanted to update you on that. That was the reason for the stream, and I hope that was useful to you. If there's anything else you'd like to talk about, we can do that right now, and we can consider it. But if there's nothing else, I think I'll finish off this stream and leave you for the rest of the day. And just to also say, I've just completed a stream at Ola Prime TV. That's HOLA Prime TV. I did the morning show there with Paul, and you can go check out that link. And the channel is called Ola Prime TV with an H. So you can go and check me out there if you want to see what I've covered on the rest of the markets. We talked about stocks, and we talked about crypto, and we talked about a couple of stock names. We didn't cover energy or anything like that. We didn't cover natural gas. So that's why I wanted to pick up on this, because someone from my private group was in the Ola Prime live stream and was asking about natural gas. We couldn't talk about it there because we don't trade natural gas at Ola Prime. So I wanted to cover that now. That was the idea. So folks, if there's nothing else, I'll scan through the charts very, very quickly and finish off with a very brief summary. We're long on the pound, in profit on both positions now, about 150 pips we got in on this one at 1.3380. We're trading at 1.3490. So actually 110 pips on that last tranche and a little bit of profit on that first one. We've got nothing on the dollar yen, although we've just taken, actually we do. Is that? No, that's the euro. We have nothing on the euro. We've just taken a short position on the dollar yen, actually a little while ago, on this move down. My target for the dollar yen is in the 120s. We're in the 140s now. And we're also short on the yen crosses. Overall, short on the yen and the yen major against the dollar and the yen crosses. In other words, long the Japanese yen. And long may the Japanese yen carry on strengthening. Let's get the next resumption of this carry trade unwind going. I think we're starting that. There's a lot of talk about that in various places. NASDAQ and S&P, I've now hedged completely the NASDAQ. We got in long at that orange line, and we've not taken profit. Actually, we have taken profit on the NASDAQ. We hedged the S&P. So we've taken profit on that long, 320 pips there, and we've hedged the S&P and looking to see what happens next. My suspicion is that we'll carry on much higher on these. First of all, 24,000 and then probably 25,000 on the NASDAQ. Same sort of thing on the S&P. I'm not going to cover those in detail. I'll cover those in tomorrow's live stream, or if I don't do a live stream tomorrow, then I'll do a video. And I want to reset. How do I do that? So that's that. So I'll cover some of these in details. We're also long on some of the names. I'm long on MSTR, long on Tesla. That's going fantastically well. ARK going gangbusters. And we're short on only one of these names from the Mag 7 pack, and that's NVIDIA. And we're short at this potential island reversal, waiting to see what happens next. Only for a brief stint downwards, perhaps longer, maybe further, I don't know. But my expectation, only down towards the top of this breakout, ascending triangle pattern, where we got long initially, and now we're short for a move back down to that level. Maybe a bounce off there and a retest of that high. We might get an island reversal here. We haven't gapped down. The market's now open, so we're still stuck in this little island at the top. We haven't moved up, but we also haven't moved down. And that's all those stock names that we're looking at. And then Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. I've got all my positions on here now, and you can see that nothing's really changed since we last took. I took one tiny little new position on Ethereum, but we're basically out of this market altogether. We've just got one Ethereum coin at the top here. And obviously that's very risky. I've only taken one tiny position, and I've got orders stacked up all the way down. I'm pretty bullish on this, but we have reached first target using this bull run flag extension process, pretty simple pattern. And I've drawn that big red line there, and I did take profit there, but I've just added one more tiny position back on. We're also long on Bitcoin, and once again, like Ethereum, which is almost no position, I've got one Bitcoin at the top here, just in case this keeps on going. But I've got orders further down, and basically we've taken quite a lot of profit, and I've hedged some of it at this orange line. So we're down to about, I suppose, overall, and including my crypto holdings, about 70% of what we had. So I'm also now no longer banking my profits from many of my trades, no longer banking them into dollars, but I'm banking them into Bitcoin. So and someone said to me yesterday, well, you're not really taking profit then, are you? Well, yeah, I'm taking profit on the trade, but I'm taking the currency and banking it in that currency, and the currency of my choice is Bitcoin. Other people will take the profits and withdraw it from their broker account or whatever, and put it into the bank account and bank their profits as dollars or pounds or euros or zloty or yuan or yen, whatever currency you're trading in or country you live in. That's fine. There's a competitor on the block, though, you may have noticed, and that's Bitcoin. It's another currency, maybe a better one, depending on your views. And I'm choosing to bank in Bitcoin. So all I've done really is I've moved some of these trades from my trade station where I pay daily overnight fees and there's risk associated. I'm tempted to trade it, and I've moved it from there into the bank, banked my profits, but not in US dollars. Pretty much the same thing. Doesn't mean I'm holding my trades, but I'm choosing to bank in a different currency. That's all. So yeah, and then we've got a little bit on XRP, not a lot. That's Ethereum. No, that's XRP. We've just got one very small position. I've taken most of this profit off. I've added a little bit more on there. This is almost negligible. I had much bigger positions on both XRP and Ethereum and Bitcoin actually. So we're down to almost nothing on XRP and Ethereum, and just these little positions left. You can see the 2,000 XRP at $2.92, and then another 2,000 at about $3.40, and moving up. Now my targets for XRP are pretty simple, very much in line with what we did in Ethereum, and that's just to move up following the flagpole. So there's the initiation of the bull run, bull flag, and then I've just copied that line, that steepness, that gradient, that length, and drawn two lines, one from the bottom of the lowest point of this move and one from the end of the move before we started moving up. So one of these two green lines is my target, and then obviously I'm going to have to take profit off at some point, I think, but we don't have much on. So I'm just really basically hoping for a dip back down to the gradient line and below so that I can put more size on XRP. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. We've taken quite a lot of profit on both XRP and Ethereum and holding, I suppose, around 60-ish, maybe 65, 70% of the Bitcoin. There is one more small position on there. So that's the way it is. Not very much stacking of altcoins as we maybe should be, but I'll try and get back into these markets on dips. We have been riding these altcoin moves up until now, and I just think that we probably could do with a little bit of pullback. Remember, these are gradient lines. Let's go back to Ethereum. These lines here are just drawn from the lowest point of the lowest candle to the highest point of the highest wick of the highest candle. So it's not a trend line. It's not running underneath. It's running from top, oh, in this case, bottom to top. And I've simply duplicated that line, gives me the length and the gradient of the next move up. And you can see we've gone way too fast, way too quickly. We've left the line behind. We need to come back to it and probably below it, in fact, just to pick up some more positions. But where those will be, I don't know. So I've had to stack them up in case this happens in the middle of the night while I'm asleep. And essentially, I'm just using profits from many, many trades on Ethereum and Bitcoin and XRP over the last couple of years. And there's almost really no risk on any of these trades for me. And these are not big positions in any case. Even if it drops all the way down back to 3,000, I'll only have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 at the most XRP on there. So yeah, so a little bit left behind at the moment on the alts because we've taken profit, but I do hope and I think that they could come back. But if Bitcoin, which looks like it might be actually just starting to get going, if Bitcoin gets going and breaks out, had a fake break last night, by the way, through the bottom of that triangle, but we're well back inside now. So ignore that. That triangle is still valid. But if Bitcoin gets going and moves up much faster and higher, looks like it's preparing to do so. We've had that big breakout, previous all-time high, a fractional new all-time high. That was a double top. That wasn't quite a double top. Turned out to be a bull flag and a perfect one. And so we've got the bull flag gradient and the next bull flag gradient, and we're consolidating right on the gradient line. Absolutely perfect, spot on. So let's have a look at where this might end up. If we simply duplicate that length and gradient and put it to its correct position at the bottom, the start of the bull flag at the bottom, at the end, and draw it up towards where we might get to, we end up at 135,000 at around in the first week of August. So that's kind of really, until anything really changes, That's my plan on crypto, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. We've talked about natural gas already, and I'm going to finish off with oil. This was the other thing. I wanted to cover this earlier in the Ola Prime morning show, but I didn't have time. This is oil. We're short on oil. We got short at the 200 period moving average. Always remember the 200 period moving average is your friend. If you get to the 200, it's an excellent support and resistance level. And if you're above it, it's an excellent indicator of long-term directional bias being bullish. If you're below it, it's an excellent indicator of directional bias being bearish. We're below it and we touched it. Absolutely perfect. WTI moving down, a little bit slow, but that's the nature of this product. And we're short. We've got a good position on both positions now in profit and moving down. And we're short on natural gas and WTI, which is a bit of a concern because they're often inversely correlated. And I think that's it, folks. I think we don't have more time for that for further discussion today. And because I've got some things to do, and my son is busy preparing for his wedding as we speak in China, in some province, very north, sort of west, up in China, near the mountains, and it's going to be on YouTube, televised, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. We're getting ready for that. We're having a sleepover party with some of the family at my house here. So I'm looking forward to that. Have a great trading day, folks. All of our profits for those in my private group who are here, and that's the reason we're holding this live stream, so I could quickly update you in lieu of the fact we didn't have one today. For all of you who are here, you'll know that all of our positions, except for the hedged ones, NASDAQ and S&P, although we've got some profit locked in, except for those, all of our positions are beautifully in profit today, and we've had a good run, and it's carrying on. So enjoy it, and if you'd like to join my private group, folks, there's a link below. And you can get a discount. It says the Trader's Survival Kit. Click on there. I'll send you a whole bunch of free stuff, including videos, books, and music, which you can download for free, absolutely no cost. But there's also a 20% discount on all of my courses and my private group. And simply download all the free stuff, including the discount coupon, and you can join my private group with a very fat, healthy discount. So if you'd like to be part of that, and if you don't want to be part of that, download the Trader Survival Kit in any case, because I think you'll find a lot of useful stuff in there. And at the very least, subscribe to this channel. There's a button right below this video. It says subscribe. Click on that button and join us in your subscription. Folks, I hope you had a good day so far. Markets are open. Markets are moving. Crypto's moving up. Let's have a quick look before I sign off, see what else is moving. And yeah, pound moving up. Beautiful. Aussie dollar, this is a funny one. Remember, we were meant to take off over here, and we just didn't. The symmetrical pattern, we've talked about this a lot, to sort of match both sides. This side just went weird. It went all narrow and skinny, and then flopped over at the end when it was meant to take off. It tried to, but it didn't get going. We got a new high, broke out of that range, and then we flopped back down. But we are still long on this, and I still think this is a good chance of moving up 500 pips along with all the other currency pairs against the US dollar, because I think the dollar index has got another few hundred pips to go further down. And that's it, folks. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next stream, probably tomorrow, and I will send out the links. Make sure you press the notification button or bell on your YouTube below this video, and when I set up the next live stream, you'll get an email invite and alert. So make sure you do that so you don't miss live streams. People often say, well, we missed you on your live stream. Where were you? We didn't get any warning. What happened? You didn't tell us. Well, there's always the button underneath the video that says alert, or it's a warning bell, and you'll get an email when there's a live stream set up. And I think there's a banner on your screen too. Right, gold. Let's talk about gold. Thank you, Joydeep. I forgot about gold. Let's quickly cover that. Thank you for reminding me. So we're now long on gold and long on silver. If you remember, yesterday we were short on gold in the morning around this zone here. And then have a look at what happened. We had this is a day chart, sorry. Yesterday's candle and the day before. Let me try and zoom in. I want to just show you what's happened here. We got this rising bottom. These lows made repeated higher lows. And at the top, we have this flat top. It's not quite flat. It's not perfect, but it is an ascending triangle. Now, I'm going to draw that triangle in for you and show you exactly how it looks so that next time you can spot it for yourself. So, and if I can draw it in. So something like this. Yeah, I can do this, I think. Perfect. So this is what's called an ascending triangle. and it will break out through the top about 70% of the time. Now, what I can do is just fill this in, make those lines green. Bear with me for 1 minute, and I want to try and fill it in. Can we fill that triangle in? Is it possible? I don't think so. Anyway, you can see the triangle. Let's make it thicker and brighter. Oh, here we go. We can fill it in. Yes, we can fill it in. There we go. Okay, so there's people in my private group. Hey, guys, come and join me in the live stream. I'm live right now. Why are you messaging me in the private group? So there's the ascending triangle, right? What it means is we've got a rising bottom and a flat top. Now we had this repeatedly, and yesterday kind of confirmed that because we didn't manage to break down through the bottom after that previous day's bearish encounter with the triangle bottom, spiking back up. Look where the 200, the 20, and the 50 period moving averages are, and we failed those moving averages, failed to break through them. We failed to even close beneath them. And then yesterday, we held beautifully above both those moving averages and the triangle rising bottom. And then today, very early this morning, I sent out an alert to my group saying, let's not be short. So we had actually hedged our short position. We did take a small loss, about $15 on this. I need to close down my Slack. I apologize for this, everyone. The funny thing is, there are folks in my Slack, in my private group, who could be here asking me these questions. So yeah, an ascending triangle, breakout through the top. Not a perfect top, but these spikes, false breaks up and down through the bottom and through the top of the triangle can be ignored. They, try and draw the triangle around about the bodies of the, when you get these spikes. If there are too many spikes, use the bodies, more or less. And we've now broken out. So we got bullish early this morning, and I sent out this alert to my private group at about about 9 hours ago, eight or 9 hours ago, and we got long there. That's how much it's moved up in that period. And as you may know, we were already long on silver. We got long on silver a few days ago. At the bottom of that spike down, after that sell-off, we got long right at the bottom at the close of that day, or close to the close of that day. I've only got it. This is not my main account. That's why I'm showing you all my positions. I hope you can see them. Sometimes they don't actually show, but you can see there's a long position, tiny long position on gold, tiny long position on silver. These represent the positions that I've got on my trading account. I don't have one on copper because I can't trade copper at Black Bull. I trade it on my other brokerage account where I can. We're also long on copper. As you can see, we've got those positions moving up. So we're long on copper, we're long on silver, and we're long on gold. You can see my silver last entry position. The actual main position that we took was a bit down there, but I wanted to illustrate this if possible to show you these live positions. These are live positions, not a demo account, but these are not, not big positions. But at least you can see that they reflect roughly where I trade my main positions on my large accounts. And I can't show those accounts because for various reasons, obviously. So, but that position reflects exactly where we got in this morning. That one's a little bit higher, but we did get in lower, but nevertheless, it illustrates that we're long. You can see my general plan across the cryptos, a little bit long on the two alts, Ethereum, XRP right now, but expecting these to come crashing down. But if they do keep moving up, we've got a little bit on them. So that's okay. Not the best position. I'd rather have a lot more, but we did take a lot off. So let's not be greedy. And then on Bitcoin, I'm down to about 65 or 70% of my overall holdings. And on this account, you can see roughly, I've still got a little bit at the top there, but almost nothing. So yeah, that's the general idea. And I'm still, I think gold, next target for gold, we're trading at 3,400 now. I think we could get much higher on gold, but it depends. I think it's going to be pretty tricky to get through here. But we are forming what looks like more of an ascending triangle. We can draw the similar or same pattern that we drew earlier. Let me try and point this out for you. Of course, I won't be able to do it on this occasion, but something like that, all right? So maybe an ascending triangle sort of pattern forming on gold too. So all of that sort of prompted me to get long. So we got a little bit of profit on there so far, just getting going. And I think the target, if we do break out of this ascending triangle, there's another little one there. So we've got two basically. Could actually probably need to draw the bigger one better. But if we do break out of there, then I'd simply take that length, roughly something like that, as the length of the target. So, and I'd say really a full extension. Let's get rid of the triangle. A full Fibonacci extension of the last rally from, call it 3,000 to 3,500. So a $500 rally from here, and that would take us closer to $4,000 on gold. Let's see how far we can get. Of course, we can put some fib extensions in here, and I can do one right now while we're online, and maybe something like that. Not that one. It's not much to work with here, but let's. No, that's not the extension. Come on. Fib extension. There we go. I don't know. It's really difficult. There's not a lot to work with, to be honest, but let's try something like this from that rally, or we could also put another one. Just going to mess this around a little bit, and then I'm going to leave you. Let's try this little one. So I'm putting a huge number of lines on there. I just want to see if there are any confluences slightly above where we are, where my arrows lead into. You can see I've now abandoned the green arrow and the red arrow as ideas. We're going with the orange one. I've switched now, chosen, had three choices. At some point, you've got to choose which one you're going with. We've now chosen, I've chosen the orange one. So yeah, Fibonacci confluences, and I like the 786 in general overall on most charts, takes us up to about 3,500, which is where we got. But I think we could then get into some of these higher levels, close to 4,000. And the 1.618 is a good one, as is the 100. So that's at 3,660 or 3,780. I think those could be the next sort of stops. So around about 3,700 to 3,800, something like that. Those are very rough estimates and nothing to really sort of work with properly, but just an idea that we could get above the most recent high, another couple of $100 above there, maybe $200-300 above 3.5, which would take us to 3.8. And I think that's a reasonable target. That is my first target actually, 3.8, but I think we could even get to 4,200. So that's gold. I hope that helps you, Joydeep. And Tesla, well, we're long on Tesla. I think Tesla's great. It's one of my favorites. It's coming back in a little bit today. As you can see, we've got two long tranches right there. We've got this beautiful island reversal or abandoned baby combo right down here at the bottom. And we've managed to close above all three of these moving averages, the 50, the 50, the 20, and the 200, which are all stacked on top of each other. And yesterday we managed, or Friday really, we managed to burst up and hold pretty convincingly above those moving averages. Tesla's just dipped down from the open today down to Friday's high and down to some of these moving averages. I would say that there's probably a buy on dips right now, or very close to being a buy on dip at this moment. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. You can see we had that big opening candle and we're moving down. We've only had about 40 minutes of play so far in today's trading, so it's a very fresh day. But I like this ledge on Tesla where we are right now. And I guess if you go to the 5-minute and the 3-minute charts and you slap on your VWAP and your various lines and just trend lines really, you'll find something here. I don't have VWAP on here, but I could put it on. No, I'm not going to. But yeah, it's probably about where we are now. I don't know which one you use. You might use the 20 or the 10 or the 13 or even the 50 VWAP, volume weighted average price. I would estimate that the 20-period VWAP is probably more or less where we are right here on the 20-period simple average. Put that up in the comments if you're trading using VWAP. But I would estimate it's about here, and it's also this previous swing low and a bit of a support level. I'll draw a line right across there on Tesla, and if I were to be buying, I would like this level very much. I'm not buying because I'm already quite long on Tesla already. So we got this over under support level at the 100-period moving average. Let's make this lighter so that you can see it. Still suffering from my previous chart color and adjusting the line colors. So that gray line is the 100-period moving average. Sorry, is it the 100? It's 100. Yeah. So as I said, I think the 20 period VWAP, so I was wrong. The 20 period simple moving average is curling down. I think the 20 period VWAP might be at this level. Check it out and let me know if it is. Anyway, that's not the point. Not everyone uses VWAP anyway. The point is we're at 100 period moving average here on the 5-minute chart, and at this ledge, bit of a spike down there. You might have to put your stop loss below that stop hunt spike, and there's also a previous ledge down here. Most probably that's the safest place to put a stop loss if you're going to, in which case you might want to see if we can get down through this line, down through the 100, and then reclaim it. And on the reclaim, that would be your best entry if that happened. The downward close underneath, and then close above, reclaim it, and then you can use that dip, the reclaim dip, as your stop loss or your hedge level, depending on how you trade. So that's Tesla. I think that's a good one for a move up. But right now on the 5, it's looking bearish. It's moving down. Wait for that. You've got to obviously wait for reversal candles, and you've got to wait for change of momentum, and you've got to wait for a trigger at the right place on the chart. So don't just willy-nilly go buying Tesla wherever you want. And we have not talked about sugar. Good to see you too, Asmi. We have not talked about sugar, Luca, but we can, because we can do whatever we want, can't we? As long as it's not legal or immoral. And talking about sugar is neither. So let's talk about sugar. And we may as well talk about a couple of other things on this page, and then I really am going to go. This is sugar. I really like it. It's dipping down a bit today below this trend line, channel line again. But yeah, it's good sharp reversal, dipping below support, trapping a few more hands, and this very sharp bullish reversal. And basically, as long as we hold above that low, I'm pretty bullish on sugar. And I think we could move a lot higher on sugar once we clear back through this channel and through some of this traffic, particularly at about 18, 17.8, something like that in this zone here. It's going to be tricky to get through. Very, very important level, but I think we will try at least, and I think we'll probably succeed. TPs, you can see some of the levels up here. Make of that what you will. Check out those fib extension levels and so on. And also, while we're on this chart, we're still short on cocoa. My red arrow is there where we got short, no changes. We went short on coffee 2 days ago now. And I did tell you in previous live streams and videos that if we should get to that blue line, the center of this channel center line, or the top of the channel again, I'd be looking to sell. I sold at the channel center line, as I said I would. It's now moved down for 2 days in a row, so that's looking great. And actually moved down quite a fair bit already. We got in at about 300 and, I don't know, 15, maybe 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's call it 15. We're trading now at 295. So that's, yeah, it's about 6% down, almost 7% down. So that's been a good trade already. We're also short on orange juice. That's moving sideways since we got short. This rally, 3-candle rally, tariff rally. Tariffs took it up. Supply will take it down. Oh, the other one I want to get long on, by the way, we'll come back to this, and quickly just going through the others. This is wheat. Still long on wheat. I still like it very much. We had a big day up yesterday, just retracing, probably 50%. Look for halfway back down this candle. That's where we should stop. Actually, roughly where we are now, and then bounce from there. And then corn, we're long again. All of these grains and softs and so on, pulling back a little bit, especially after everyone declared with this little tiny bounce we had that the commodities super cycle has officially begun. And then the commodities proved to them that they're talking bollocks yet again and put them back in their place. The other one I'm interested in is lithium, and this is LI. This is an ETF which is called LIT, the ticker, and I would like to buy this. I'm looking for the right opportunity. This is a lithium ETF, and either on a dip back down to the orange trend line or a break up through and a dip back down to the white trend line. That's LIT lithium, and pretty much a bull flag, really. I haven't drawn in the channels properly just yet, but I will do. And I don't know what sort of retracement it was. Looks like a 618% Fibonacci retracement to where we got. Let's see. Yeah, so we got to 78.6. This is a logarithmic scale. That's the reason for that. Let's change this to a regular scale. And you'll see why that looks weird. So we pulled all the way down to the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement. This is absolutely beautiful. I got a heads up from someone on X who sent a message out about this, and I had not been watching it, and I was remiss. This was the opportunity to buy right there on LIT, and we didn't get it, unfortunately. Fake break, gap down, and close back above the support level. Absolutely perfect. If you ever see that, it's a guaranteed buy, and I didn't see it. It was 3 weeks ago, but anyway, we didn't get it. So now we've got to get in a little late to this, either in a dip back down to the orange trend line, or, excuse me, this is a week chart, or something like that. So yeah, we'll have to see how we go, but we're a little late to the party on that one, LIT. And we are at resistance, not quite, almost at that resistance. Let's see if we can get a pullback to the orange channel line or trend line. And then, so we're long on corn and cotton and so on. I think we've covered all of that. Okay, folks, have a great trading day. I really must go now, and I'll see you soon. I'll give you one more read just to encourage everyone. Tesla reports earnings on Wednesday. Yeah, Tesla reports earnings. Yeah, of course there are concerns. I think the earnings might be better than expected, actually. But John, yes, there are concerns. Of course, I'll have to think about hedging perhaps ahead of earnings, if need be. Talked about sugar. And then final comment, Zed Pepper. James, I'm genuinely shocked, oh dear, and dismayed that you were right about shorting NatGas when my genius self said I would wait for 375. I can't believe I was wrong. Yeah, well, Zed Pepper, you're going to be wrong a lot, mate, or ma'am, depending on how you identify. You're going to be wrong a lot. I'm wrong a lot. Everyone's wrong a lot. So don't be surprised, but make sure that when you are wrong, it doesn't hurt too badly. And the only way to do that is by managing your risk properly. But you are going to be wrong, and you will remain being wrong often. I'm wrong about 31% of the time. No, 29% of the time, rather. I'm correct 71% of the time. I've measured this over properly measured it over 20 years. I've been trading for almost 30, but I've measured that over 20 years, and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of trades, and it's 71%. So 30% of the time I lose it, I get it wrong. I make the wrong choice. I make the wrong decision, the wrong analysis, or the market doesn't do the right thing, whatever it might be. I'm wrong quite a lot, and you'll be wrong a lot too. And so I hope that didn't hurt too much, but you shouldn't be shocked. I'm hoping that you were shocked but not hurt. I hope you weren't shocked and hurt financially. So JG, well, I went short and got stopped out before the big dump, and so we're all in it. Okay. Unfortunately, you got stopped out. Well, I'm sorry about that, JG. Okay, folks. Well, it's been lovely to see you all. This was a flash stream, wasn't planned or anything, but I wanted to talk about natural gas with my private group because of all the questions that came up during the Olive Prime live, and I couldn't answer them there because we don't trade natural gas at Olive Prime, and so I wanted to just make sure that there was no confusion.